Shalom, shalom. I want to say all praises be to Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakah, Kodash, the honors of the apostles, elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the saints and brethren, Akim all across the four winds, the four corners of the globe, pushing the truth, the good news of Yahweh Shai, proclaiming salvation to the elect of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and proclaiming the downfall of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and his wicked empire. So this video is going to be entitled "The French President Slapped." the French president, which is Emmanuel Macron, he is slapped by his wife, man. You understand? The French president slapped by his wife, man, of which is demonstratable, of which is what you call it, an archetype of how this society is, man. Woman usurping authority over the man. So let's just play it real quick. No, this is a copyright. Say copyright, whatever. Let's play it.
It's the shove being seen around the world. French President Emmanuel Macron whacked in the face by his wife.
And he played off.
The plane door opens during a state visit to Vietnam, and you see Brigitte Macron's red sleeve cut into frame.
Smack.
Her hands forcefully smushing his face.
Get your ass,
He seems stunned, then awkwardly waves when he realizes cameras are rolling. Moments later, he deplanes, followed by the First Lady of France. You see him position his arms
so he can grab on to
go down the stairs. But she ignores the gesture and takes the handrail. Typically, you see them holding hands when they're deplaning, which added to the speculation that the cameras captured a heated argument. At first, Macron's office claimed the video was an AI-generated fake. Then Macron admitted the moment.
See, he tried to play it off, man.
Captured a heated argument. At first, Macron's office.
Boom, man. You understand? But I say that's what it is, man. You know what I mean? Even the nobles, the king of France, the president of France, the nobles of Esau, Edom, they even being affected by well, it's biblical prophecy. Let me just get it. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 22. And this ain't nothing new with women trying to usurp authority over men, but it's just allowed, man. That's what's really new about it, man. Women are allowed and they embrace it. Back in ancient, well, it happened, but it was nipped in the bud 9 times out of 10. You understand? Women was looked at to be, you know what I mean, beneath the man, and the man was seen as an authority over the woman. But in this society led by Esau, Edom, he pushes out feminism. He allows women to think and believe and operate as they equal to a man and even superior to a man. You understand? That's why the scripture says this right here. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 22. How long will thou go about with thou backsliding daughter? Referring to the children of Israel. For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Which this is very much seen within the so-called black, Hispanic, Native American community here in America. But in an overall general sense, even across the globe, especially in Western countries, specifically in Western countries, which is countries led by Esau, Edom, the woman has compassed the man. Basically doing their own thing, man. Going around the man, doing what they want to do, not listening to men. Usurping authority over the men, of which the scriptures tell you a woman ought not to do. Let me get that real quick in 2 Timothy. But shit like this is happening, man. Macron is getting mushed in his face because what? The woman has compassed the man. She thinks she can do what she want to do, man. She can do what she feels like. You understand? And it's men like him that allow this shit, because he's the president of France. He's an Edomite. He's one of the so-called chief Edomites of this world, man, so to speak. That's pushed out there on the forefront. The president of France, which is one of the top so-called Western countries, but he getting mushed in his face by his wife, man. fulfilling this scripture right here that a woman shall compass a man. Basically, a woman is gonna do her own thing, you know what I mean? Not listening to the man, disrespecting the man, basically. Let me get 2 Timothy. which I laugh at this, man. This is good, man. You understand? This is beautiful, really, man. Esau being bitched up by his one of the top Edomites supposedly on the planet right now. We know the elites, but he's like one of the figureheads of Esau Edom's rulership, the president of France. He being smushed in his face by his woman, man. This is the book of Second Timothy. Or is it First Timothy? First Timothy 2. Yeah, this is the First Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Kind of what she just did was a authoritative smush in the face to Macron, man. So she's basically usurping authority over him, man. And you see his face like, oh shit, when he saw the cameras were rolling. But that's because these women are full up with pride, man. Pride that you so-called white man allowed, man. Because you, Job 9:24, you run this world, man. You allow the pushing of feminism, man. The pushing of women's rights, man. So you're gonna get smushed in your face, man. And that's the most time mocking you, man. You so-called white man. Like I said, this is supposed to be a high-level so-called white man, man. The president of France getting smushed in his face, being usurped by his own wife. You understand? Which just happened in the ancient world. We have an example of that, and we saw how the king of Persia treated her. I'm gonna get that account real quick in the book of Esther. And really, that's how Esther was able to become the queen of Persia, because the queen of Persia before her tried a stunt like this, man, being rebellious, because this is rebellion right here, man. This is the book of Esther chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 10, because when you read up, with the king and the queen of Persia, they had a feast with their servants, so on and so forth, their noblemen, so on and so forth. The queen, she had a feast with the women, and the king, which is Ahasuerus, which is Xerxes. Xerxes from the movies. They had a feast. Both of them had a feast, man. You understand? So this is verse 10. Esther chapter 1, verse 10. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Biztha, Harbona, Bigtha, and Abagatha, Zethar, and Carcas, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus, which is Xerxes the king, to bring Vashti, the queen, before the king with the crown royal to shew the people and the princess her beauty. So she was beautiful, man. So he wanted to quote unquote spoil her, man. So he commanded them to bring her. You understand? So I forgot her name. The so-called first lady of France, she would be considered basically the queen of France, basically. To show the people and the princess her beauty, for she was fair to look on, so she was beautiful. But the queen Vashti refused, God. So just like this, Macron probably tell her, oh, this she pushed him in the face, man. So Vashti, in this case, spiritually, figuratively pushed Xerxes in his face, like, hell no, I ain't going, I ain't coming. Just like this, the queen of France right here, man, the so-called first lady. She's smushing Macron in his face, like, hell no, I don't want to hear what you got to say. I ain't holding your hand coming down the plane. F you, man. To hell with what you got to say. Being rebellious. Being a demon. Which the scriptures say woman ought not to be. Because we just read in Timothy. But to be in subjection. Not to usurp authority over the man. Because that's usurping authority. That's something that you do to your kid. That's something that you do to your woman if she's out of line. And you put her back in line. And if physical force is necessary. You understand? But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him. Then the king said to the wise men, so he wasn't like Macron, smiling and playing the shit off. No, he was like, he was highly upset, highly offended. that the queen refused his commandment, man. That the queen was being rebellious. Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment. And the next unto him was Karshina, Shethar, Admatha, Tarshish, Merez, Marseille, Marcina, Memucan, the 7 princes of Persia, and Media, which saw the king's face, and which sat the first in the kingdom, considered the chief men of the kingdom, basically, top advisors, top princes. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to the law? Because she had not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains. So what should we do to Vashti, man? So that's what Macron should be doing, but no, they playing it off. Oh, it's cool. He being laughed at in the media, and he just taking it. Hey, because what? The woman has come past a man in this new world, Western world, man. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to the law? Because she had not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains. And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen had not done wrong to the king only. So she ain't fuck up to the king, she ain't disrespected only the king, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus. So Macron been out saying, hey, you demon, you first so-called first lady of France, forgot her name, but you only did wrong to me, man. You did wrong to basically all the people of France, man. You disrespected the whole nation of France, man. So your punishment is such. You banish, man. You understand? You put away. But is he going to do that? No. Because he'll be demonized if he do that, because we live in a gynocentric society. A society that places what? The woman on the pedestal. A society that allows a woman to come past a man. But it wasn't so in the ancient world, man. When women disrespected, they were dealt with accordingly. Harshly at that. You understand? So this is the book of Esther chapter 1, verse... and to all the people that are in the provinces of the king Ahasuerus, for this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women. So same way, this is shown across the 4 corners of the globe, man. To all the women in France and across the globe. Yeah, he's already to smush your man's in his face, man, your husband in his face. If the president of France is getting smushed in his face, how much more you, the common man? You understand? She's setting the example for millions of women to be rebellious, to be demons. So she has to be dealt with accordingly and publicly. Same like what's going to happen here with the so-called Queen Vashti. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes. So they're going to start talking shit to their husbands, evil eye toward their husbands. So like, nah, we gotta nip this in the bud. When it shall be reported, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. So when a woman in the kingdom of Persia heard that the queen Vashti didn't obey the king of Persia, how much more the everyday common man, his wife gonna obey him? Same with this situation. You understand? This just amplifying and allowing women to be more and more rebellious, man. You understand? Even with this whole Michelle Obama thing, man. She have her own podcast, and she basically airing out she and Barack Obama's dirty laundry, man, talking shit about him. So what's that's gonna make? Women in general talk shit about men, man. So-called black women talk even more shit about so-called black men, even though Obama is a Hamite. You understand? But it's still he's put out there as a so-called black man, man. So he's just gonna promote rebellion amongst women, especially so-called black women, man. Same with this. Same with all these women that you see, Cardi B, you know what I mean, Megan Thee Stallion, Sexy Red, all these different women, man, that you see in the media, man, on TV, in modern culture, man. They all pushing rebellion, man. Ain't none of them pushing traditionalism. Ain't none of them pushing obey your man, be subject unto him. No, they're pushing do what you want to do. Be independent. Be a boss, babe. You understand? You don't gotta do what your man tell you to do. You understand? So they're not pushing the ways of the scriptures upon the younger woman. They're pushing rebellion. They're pushing a woman shall come past a man. They're pushing to smush a man in his face, man. So back in the book of Esther chapter 1, verse 18. Verse 18, likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes which have heard of the deed of the queen, thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before King Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she can. So put this bitch away, man. Put her away. That's how it belongs. A woman out of line, put her away, man. A woman disrespect, put her away, man. Especially a type of utter disrespect like this. But this is the type of shit that we have to deal with here, man. Women that think they can fight, man. Women that are disrespectful. And all of us deal with it, man. Even with our own women, man. We gotta suffer shit, man. You understand? Ultimately, we gotta use wisdom. Because if you use physical force, then that could jack you up, man. So the best thing is, try not to even be with a woman that shit is gonna get physical with. You understand? Easier said than done, but try to do that, man. You know what I mean? But we know these women are demons. These women provoke, man. These women want to physically fight, man. So, ultimately, the Lord is with us. So no matter what, we're gonna escape it, man. One way or another. We're going to escape the evil webs and deeds and thoughts and actions of these women. And when the king's decree which he shall make shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give to their husbands honor both to great and small. So when it's noise that, he put Vashti away and took her shit from her, basically banished her, and took all her royalties, man, from her. They're going to be in line. Women going to say, oh, shit. They're going to get in line with their husband. They don't want their husband to banish them. They don't want their husband to cast them away. You know what I mean? Homeless, basically. Cast your ass away. Put you away. They don't want to do that, man. Same with this. That's what Macron should have done. But we know it's not going to happen because we're living in the times and in a society that puts the woman above the man. That allows a woman to be in rebellion towards the man, and it's okay without any punishment. Verse 21, Esther 1:21, and the saying pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan, for he sent letters into all. So there's wise heathens too, man. So Memucan, he was a wise Elamite, a wise Persian, man. For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, into every province, according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and that it should be published according to the language of every people. So we see like our situation like this was handled in the ancient world. It said what? This is what it said. He put away the so-called queen, and he said this. This is what the king of Persia said. Let me read it again. Esther chapter 1:22. For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, into every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and that it should be published according to the language of every people. So the king of Persia was like, he listened to Memucan, that's his name. Yeah, Memucan. So, men are to bear rule in their own house, man. Basically rule over the woman, which is in line with the scriptures, man. That's why I said Memucan was wise, man. So there's wise heathens. You understand? There's wise men amongst the heathen. This book of Genesis chapter 3, verse, he didn't look like Macron, man. Yeah, brush it off, or it's fake, or we just messing around. No, man. You're like, nah, I gotta banish this. You gotta banish this demon, man. You gotta banish this woman. She totally out of place, man. You understand? And I'm sure if the scriptures summarize it, but I'm sure if you was actually to see it in living color, she was being rebellious as hell, man. probably disrespectful as hell too, man. You understand? When she was refusing to come. Being rebellious, big-headed, out of place, man. Basically compassing Ahasuerus. She was trying to fulfill Jeremiah 31 and 22 before it was time, man. You understand? It wasn't time for that Vashti. And you got the punishment thereof, man. You understand? This is the book of Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, because that's the labor pains, so on and so forth, when woman giving birth. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Kan. So like Mama Khan, you know what I mean? He basically mirroring what the scripture says, man. The scripture tell you, Genesis 3 and 16, that the man shall rule over thee, man. And all throughout the scriptures they tell you, 1 Corinthians 11, the head of the woman is the man. Scripture says, I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man. But we understand in these last days, Jeremiah 31 and 22, hey, we see it there, man. In plain effect.
And the video was an AI-generated fake.
How you say this is an AI, man?
Crone admitted
Smush his face, man. But you playing it as AI, man. Nah, you belongs doing with what Xerxes did, man. Banish her, take away, strip her of all her royal titles. You understand? She ain't got no more money. I mean, just banish her, put her ass away. Maybe just basically treat her like a prisoner. She get the basics, food, water. And I mean, get you a new wife, man. A young wife at that, man. Get you an Esther, man. But Esau Edom is he's a Mo by nature. He's a weak man by nature. You understand? He's a demon by nature. He's wicked by nature, like the scriptures tell you. That's why this shit is allowed to happen, man. Confusion, a woman compassing a man. The president of France getting smushed in his face by his wife, and there's no punishments for his wife, man. He just laughed about. He's being laughed at, and he's laughing at himself, which is a complete and utter joke, which is not going to happen. Nothing close to this is going to happen in our kingdom, man. You understand? But this is a telltale sign of the downfall of the society anyways, because they'll tell you, man, when you see the woman out of order, that's a telltale sign of a fall of a society. A fallen society. The nuclear family is all messed up. The single mother rate. You know what I mean? The woman is totally out of order, man. The family structure is totally out of order. The dynamics between men and women is totally destroyed. And totally out of what? So that's why this whole earth, man, because the Western world leads the world, basically, is the forefront of leading the world. So this whole world, this whole rulership, this eon has to be destroyed, man. And it's going to be destroyed via thermonuclear destruction and the simultaneous return of Yahweh Shai. Hey, so with that, I want to say our praises be to Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakakodash, double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the elect Abad Baal, Kwame Ashala.